The legislature in Maine voted yesterday to legalize doctor-assisted suicide. And if the Democratic governor signs it into law, the Pine Tree State will become the 7th in the nation to legalize assisted suicide in some form.
And Massachusetts is considering similar legislation, and the author of that bill joins us live right now in studio, State Senator William Brownsberger, Democrat from Belmont. Thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it.
Glad to be with you.
There will be people, this is a controversial issue, there are going to be people right away who say, I'm not for this. Doctors should not be in the position of, you know, giving a fatal medication to a patient. They shouldn't be in that business. What do you say to that?
Well, look, it's really about what the patient wants. And I'm someone who believes that people should be able to do what they want if they're not going to hurt anybody else. I have a couple family touchstones on this one. First of all, my father's a physician, psychiatrist, and in his later, he's 89 now, he's doing very well. But when he was practicing in his later career, he spent a lot of time with the elderly. And after he retired, he worked in hospice. And the perspective that he has is, you know, people aren't really afraid of dying. They know they have a risk of, you know, at a certain point you know you're going to die, and you know, by the time you're reached a certain point of life, you're not afraid of that anyway. But people are afraid of suffering, and so it makes them a lot more comfortable just knowing there's a way out.
That it's there
as it comes towards the end.
And let's talk about the practicality of the bill here, because it specifically says it would allow a doctor to prescribe a fatal medication to someone with a terminal disease. How do you define terminal, and how do you ensure that a doctor isn't going to get it wrong?
Well, you have to have two physicians agree that the person is reasonably likely to die within the next 6 months.
So it could never be a rash decision.
Well, first of all, the person, you have two different physicians agreeing about the prognosis, but then you have 5 people agreeing that the patient is making their choice voluntarily. And then, of course, it's up to the patient finally to decide whether they want to make the final move.
They have a 15-day waiting period. There are all kinds of other restrictions.
15-day waiting period, you say, I want to do it orally. Then 15 days till you say it in writing. And then you've got to go through all the process, psychiatric evaluation, 2 different physicians, 2 witnesses saying that you're doing it voluntarily, by the way, one of which cannot be a family member or somebody with an interest in the estate. And then it's up to you when you want to move forward.
And you were saying a patient could get the diagnosis, I'm terminally ill. How do you know that they really want to end their life? You're saying that they have to go to a psychologist. The psychologist has to say there's a...
voluntary, they're not suffering from a depression, but that they're making the decision, they're fully capable of making the decision, they're not under some kind of mental illness that they're making that decision. And 2 lay people have to agree that, you know, that the person is making it voluntarily.
So it's almost like a person assembling their own ethics committee in a way. You can't allow someone who might be an unethical person who could coerce someone into wanting to do this. It would have to follow all of these steps. What about for proponents of assisted suicide in general, the thought that this is too much, too arduous for someone to put someone through all of that when they're already suffering with a terminal disease?
Well, you know, like anything else, this is a compromise. And by the way, I want to say, I'm not the author of this bill. Okay. This bill is a coalition bill that a whole lot of people put together.
You're the sponsor of the bill.
I'm sponsoring the bill. I introduced it in the Senate. And so it's had a lot of reviews, but it's a compromise, right? I mean, so some people might say, make it easier, but this is designed to say, look, they really know that they're terminal. They really know it's voluntary. It's really up to them. So that's a process designed to really address the concerns that opponents might have.
You introduced the bill in January. The House has introduced a bill as well. There haven't been any hearings yet. Do you think this gets done? Well,
there will be hearings in a couple of weeks. That's been recently announced. And does it get done? You know, it's one of those things that's kind of on the bubble. I don't know. You know, I hope we're able to move it forward. I thought it came pretty close to coming out of committee, but it didn't come out of committee favorably last time, so it still hasn't reached the floor in the legislature. So we're hopeful, but too soon to tell.
And we should say in Maine, the Democratic-controlled legislature passed it, has sent it to the governor, but there's no indication yet if the governor will sign. And you really don't have any idea of what's going on in terms of that in terms of that decision, we'll have to wait it out.
Right. We're early in the session. I mean, it's a 2-year cycle. We're in June of the first year, so this will probably come out sometime later in the year or early next year. Would be my guess.
We'll see where it goes. State Senator William Brownsberger, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.